everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Josie with Awakened Soul, and we are here for a reading about the person on your mind and your connection to each other. Today's reading is going to focus in on the last time you communicated with your person. What were their thoughts? What were their feelings? What was going on with them that they may or may not have been saying to you directly? This could have been a message or a bit of information that you shared with them with or without a response. This could have been a conversation the two of you had back and forth. I'm going to leave it open here today and trust that this reading found you if and when it was meant to. So the last time you talked to them, the last time you spoke to them, whether it was through messaging, in person, or over the phone, whether or not they were communicating back and forth with you, what was going on in their head and their heart? Let's unpack that for you here today. I'm going to get started with the tarot and then free flow the rest of the reading. I may pull a few oracle cards or ask a few additional questions. We're going to see what needs to come out for you the most today. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man as the first card. I feel like you quite literally forced this person to look at something differently than they did before. Maybe you flipped something on its head for them, or you said something in such a way that made them see it from a completely different angle. I think it also took them by surprise because this was something very, very different than what they had been perceiving before. So let's see what other info I can get out for you. What else was going through this person's head and heart during this last communication? Yeah, we have Judgment. They had a pretty big wake-up call about whatever it is you talked to them about. They saw it through your perspective versus just their own. And it was very, very different than what they had been previously perceiving about you. So it was a very big deal to them. It was almost like the clouds opened up and they had their big revelation moment. It was very dramatic for them. It was a huge deal. Okay. What else? Whoa, okay. The Page of Cups. Maybe they felt like they needed to apologize to you for something, or there was something they needed to offer up to you. I honestly am getting a really strong message of this person having more sympathy and empathy towards you. So maybe they were emotionally feeling pretty guarded or harsh, or they didn't understand your perspective or your feelings. And the last time you talked to them, it was like they were able to put themselves in your shoes, see it from your perspective, and they were like, oh my gosh, that is so different than what I had been thinking it was. Maybe they thought you were being harsh with them. Maybe they thought you were being overly emotional or under emotional. And it was like for the very first time, maybe they saw what it was like to be in your shoes, to see things through your eyes. And I think this person honestly wanted to apologize to you. They felt guilty for maybe how they had been treating you, how they had been presenting themselves towards you, especially if you had been fighting or arguing or having issues lately. Maybe they finally saw your side of the story and wanted to make some amends or offer up some more love towards you, okay? I think that this person had honestly realized that they were feeling really discontent in their own life, and maybe they were projecting that onto this connection. When we're in the energy of the Four of Cups, we feel bored, we feel discontent, we feel unsatisfied, even when we're being handed everything we want. In traditional tarot, it shows a person who seems to be sitting in a state of boredom or discontentment, with somebody offering them a cup, trying to give them something, and they have no interest in that. And honestly, I feel like that's your person reflecting on themselves. Maybe you were trying to offer them your love. You were trying to offer them up something, and they didn't want to take it from you in the ways you were trying to give it. And for the first time, they saw your efforts. They actually saw what you were trying to do, how you were feeling, how you were representing yourself. You know, people perceive love in a lot of different ways. You know, there's the classic love languages, you know, and people usually have a combination of a few of those. Maybe your person just has a very different love language than you do. You know, if one of you has gift giving as a love language, creating heartfelt, thoughtful gifts and giving those out. That could be one way one of you expresses your emotions towards the other, and maybe the other person really just appreciates quality time. Doesn't really matter what you're doing, it's the amount of time you spend with each other that matters to that person. And so there could just be a miscommunication between the two of you. Your person didn't see the love you were trying to give them because their love language or perception of how to receive love is very different than yours. So I think your person kind of had a wake-up call with how you tick, basically, what's going on in your head, what your perspective of the matter is, and maybe how to change things around. I do think they wanted to say sorry to you for something, maybe how they've treated you or how they misunderstood you in the past. We have the 8 of Pentacles and we have the 10 of Wands. They came out together in a pair. So there's something about your person feeling like they have put a burden on your back that maybe wasn't yours to carry, and or that they have been carrying burdens that they couldn't even see clearly, okay? There's been a lot of weight on maybe both of your backs, maybe for different reasons, and it seems like your person was thinking about ways that they could make some positive change here. They could make some improvements, work on it, learn how to understand your love language or your love styles, and maybe adapt a little bit to bring more harmony into this connection, and with hopes that you'll do the same for them, that you'll work on understanding them as well and their perspective of things. So I think your person was just having a lot of wake-up calls the last time you spoke to them. They were seeing your side of the story more clearly. They were understanding you in ways that they hadn't previously understood you. So chances are the last time you talked to them, you were very direct, you were very upfront. Maybe you literally told them what your perspective was, and that could be why they had such a wake-up call, or there was just something subtle in the way you spoke to them that really showed it to them and they had their light bulb moment. But I would say the last time you spoke to them, it's producing something really good for this connection. It's changed the way your person sees things. They're headed in a positive direction. So let me get a couple of cards out to see what's coming next between the two of you. That came out very, very quickly. It's the Emperor. That is divine masculine energy. It also represents Aries. So Aries energy could be important in this connection. Let me do a quick check on the other cards here. Yeah, I think that was the only zodiac sign we've had come out so far. All of my readings are for all zodiac signs, by the way, unless otherwise noted. And I very, very rarely do zodiac specific readings. But I like to shout them out for extra confirmation. Okay. So we also have the 5 of Pentacles. I see both you and your person tapping into your divine masculine energy and stepping up and taking the lead in your own ways in this next chapter. So it's not just them, it's not just you. Both of you are being very, very proactive to make sure neither of you feel like you're left out in the cold, okay? Honestly, I feel like you're probably in a relationship with this person. This is probably not somebody from your past. It could be. If it's been resonating and it's somebody from your past, you're welcome to take it. There aren't any rules here, okay? But more than likely, this is somebody you're dating or currently in a relationship with, something along those lines. Because what I'm getting here is you and this person have history with each other. And part of that history is maybe chronically misunderstanding each other's needs, each other's wants, desires, ways of communicating love, showing love, giving love. And so both of you in your own separate ways have been feeling abandoned, maybe a little bit emotionally neglected in the connection. And I don't think either of you are doing that to the other person intentionally. I'm not getting anything intentional here. It's just you have different love languages, you have different communication styles, you have different needs, wants, and desires from a love relationship. And so you're like chronically misunderstanding each other, which is leading both of you to maybe feel a bit misunderstood, discontent, disconnected from each other, maybe even abandoned or left out, because maybe the way you show love is going unnoticed and vice versa. And I see in the next chapter, you and this person really working through those things. You're talking about it. You're noticing each other's gestures more. You're paying more attention to the other person's needs and the ways they receive love. Oftentimes Well, I guess I won't start it out by saying that. I'll give you from my own life and my own experience and my own example. It took a while into my healing journey to come to that inner realization that everybody receives love differently, and the way I receive love is different than other people. And that love is in fact an action, okay? It is an emotion, but it's also an action. And when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's really important that sometimes you go out of your way to show them you love them in the ways that they understand it, not just in the ways that you understand it, because everybody has different preferences and needs. Some people really, really love acts of service. And when you go, do the laundry for someone, or, run to the store and pick up their favorite drink on the way home because you were already on your way and you knew it would brighten their day, they see that as a grand gesture of love, even if it's something small. And then there are other people out there that want to hear they're doing a great job. Wow, I was really impressed when you did XYZ the other day. You're doing a great job. You're awesome. Everybody has their own conceptualization of what it is to be loved and nurtured. And so when we care for someone and we want them to feel loved in a relationship and a connection, love is an action. Try to see where they're coming from, how they best respond to being loved, and kind of work with them, and hopefully they're doing the same. I see in the next chapter, both of you are doing that. Both of you are in your divine masculine energy. You're taking that initiative. You're taking the lead to make sure neither of you are feeling abandoned. And guess what? The back of the deck is the Nine of Cups. So this is something you're both really wanting. You have both been wishing for. Things are going to start to harmonize more between the two of you now that you're understanding each other better. So I love that. That is a really positive reading. I'm happy for you guys. Let me get a couple of messages just for you now. If the reading has resonated so far, I'd love it if you'd let me know by liking the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We would love to have you stick around for more in the future. Your first personal message is the Wolf with Inner Strength. You may be facing a challenge you feel less than prepared for. This is a reminder that you have all the tools in your spiritual treasure chest to handle this effectively. Take a step back and try to take a look at it with fresh eyes. Okay. And then you have your affirmation of the day. This is a good one. I'm going to hold it up for you in a moment so you can read it alongside me, or type it below in the comments to affirm it. I radiate confidence and positivity. You are your thoughts. Always choose to speak and think nicely about yourself, and the results will show quickly. Beautiful. All right, you guys, I'm leaving this reading here. Thank you again for joining. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day or night. And until next time, bye for now.